Hello, welcome back. And in this edition, we're going to be configuring authentication on the user part. What we've done is we've created the data structure in the last lesson in the backend. Now we need to find a way to make use of that authentication in the front end. To do that, we're going to be using Next.Auth.Authentication, and you can more or less just come to see the documentation here. So we're going to be using the beta version, which is currently NextAuth version 5. That's what we're going to be using. The link will also be available in the teacher's notes. So all we need to do is to instruct our AI to carry out all of this functionality. Because if you look at our app currently, there's no way for us to, even after we finish the login segment, there's no way for us to do anything else. So we need to find a way to store that data that we get. And one way to store the data is to use Next Authentication. Let me just confirm that my server is running. Okay, all right, this is fine. Is the front end running? Okay, the front end is not running. All right, so if I just refresh, let me see if it's done. Okay, so while that is loading, let's take a look at our documentation. So what we're going to do is to run all the configuration that we required. Secondly, we then create the user session. And for us to do this, of course, we need to go through this NextAuth documentation. While it's also okay for you to go through the documentation, I'm just going to walk you through how to implement it with AI. So we're going to tell the AI to go ahead and read this documentation and understand it, then implement it for us in our project. And this is typically what you would ask the AI to do oftentimes. Let's see what we have. Okay, so if I navigate to Auth, sign up. All right, so while we're waiting for the page to load, I would just copy this instruction all the way and just copy a thing from here. We're going to come back to the variable. Let's just implement the structure. I will just navigate to the front-end app. Remember, I opened two code editor just to differentiate between the back-end and the front-end. The note is currently on the back-end, so I just copied the notes and we're going to use it here. So this is the sign-up page. I think we can just go ahead and paste our instruction here. Let's see if it's able to create all of the requirements. Let's see. All right, so what we expect it to do is to go through the internet, browse through the requirements. So now it's asking us to do some installation. If we run the installation here, we may have error, so I will just copy that same thing here and we'll just run it here manually. Okay, so I'll skip. So it will assume that we prefer to install it by ourselves. Then it said it's proceeding with the configuration files, which is okay. Then right now it's going to creating the configuration. We should see that somewhere here. That is coming up. You accept it. Still working on it. So if you want to check where the file is, you can as well just hit on this and you'll be able to see where it is. So okay, currently have that inside of the lib folder. Okay. Yeah, so this is the thing. We don't need Prisma because we had already done much of the work with Django. But let's just let it create whatever it wants to create. At the end of the day, we can just remove what we don't want. And that's why sometimes it's very, very important that we tell it our intention. So for instance, it would have been nicer if we find somewhere here to say we're using Django backend or something like that. I can just even come here and say kindly note that we are using Django REST framework. Yep, that way it won't go ahead and it will just understand that we have the backend sorted. Right now, you just imagine that we don't have the backend and working on Prisma data schema for us. I mean, what we've done already. So just trying to create similar thing. You can see first name, username. Let's just let it create what it thinks work, and that's what you're seeing here. Yeah, so at some point we're going to just yank it off, but right now let's just allow it to finish the implementation. So currently now, what's this file? Okay, so it's creating the service. All this have to do with Prisma actually. Still working on it. Alright, this is the sign up page that we had. Remember that in the last lesson, yeah, that is broken because we are currently working on it. But in the last lesson, when we create the user, we don't get to save it anywhere. So the goal is that when we're done creating the user, we can then store the user in the session, in the user session on the browser, so that we can then know which user is accessing the app and on what ground, so that we can give them appropriate access. So currently now update root layout with provider. Okay, that's valid. Update login components. The funny thing is it's using Prisma. So I think what we would ask you to do is to not use Prisma. But let me first even see the implementation. Alright, so the red segment indicates what is going to be deleted. The green indicates what is going to be added. You can see that it's replacing username and email.